Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I know I am, and I'm pretty sure it's because I woke up this morning and I knew that the Civic was boosted and it was like running and it was all good. And there was like no better feeling than spending your weekend doing a project and having it actually work. So I'm super happy that we actually got this done and everything is like not finished or even close, but it's working, and that's my favorite part. So today, if you remember the end of last video, I told you, yeah, you know, we're gonna button up like some of the boost gauge wiring and all that, and we did nothing. We cleaned up, and that was it. Like, we cleaned the garage. Everything is kind of a lot tidier than it was before, and we're done. We just went to bed. So we're gonna do all that today. I also have to cut the bumper, because if you look at the intercooler, it is massive and the bumper will not just fit back on. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna cut the bumper and get it on there. I'm not entirely sure about anything, really, to tell you the truth. I'm also gonna try and neaten up some of these hoses here for the boost gauge and just tidy up, you know, everything that we left just a little unfinished. Double check everything today, now that we're not so stoked on the fact that it works, and make sure everything is tight. I'm gonna start with the bumper because that's like the most obvious issue. Everything else is just small things. And I'm not really sure how well it's gonna go. We're gonna learn together right now. Due to the size of the intercooler, this piece just isn't gonna go. I guess step one, I'm just gonna cut that whole piece right off. At least it kind of gives us an idea. Now this is sticking out super far from the bottom. I mean, the bumper's tipping up a lot, but I feel like we almost need to raise this intercooler somehow because it's gonna stick out the bottom and that will look really stupid. So this piece has gotta go because it's stabbing the intercooler pretty hard. So I'm gonna cut this piece out and then maybe this one as well. And then I'm gonna try again and see if I can get it to go at least flat. Because if I can get it flat, then I can tell how high the intercooler needs to go. Because basically all we have is like these little metal tabs that are welded on there. So I'm not entirely sure how I would even raise it. I don't even know why it's so big in the first place, to tell you the truth, but... So I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We're like a solid inch too low. Like, this is where it wants to be, this is where it is. And this is still hitting intercooler piping, it's just not hitting it so bad. I think what I'm gonna do at this current point in time is just wait. Keep going with everything else, because I'm pretty sure Derpy's gonna stop by, and then I'll ask him for his opinion. I'll ask Emerson what he thinks is a good idea. The O2 sensor does not reach all the way over here into its new home. And I don't wanna run wires right across the top of the manifold, because that's just a stupid idea. So what we're gonna do is just cut the wires and tuck our own wiring harness up along in here, away from all the heat, and back down into the O2 sensor spot. For now, I don't know if that's, like, someone might be like, you know what, that's fine, like that's gonna work good on you, but someone may say something else. So I don't know if that's like right, wrong, whatever, but that's what we're gonna do. So last night, me and Emerson were playing around and we cut all the wires, and what we're gonna do is just wire new wire to here, kind of tuck it all away, so like I said, it's not near any of the heat. And this is just to get it to the tuning shop, and if they say that, you know, what you did is wrong or what you did is right, I don't know, but at least they'll be able to tell me, like, with a definitive answer what the right route to go is. So you can see the issue, like there was only like another 2 inches of wire, like there's no way that was gonna go all the way over here. This is just my personal idea to run it up and around. I'm sure there's a better way. You guys can't get mad at us for trying. Just for the sake of making sure I wired all this properly, I want to make sure that before I tuck everything away, because I was just about to start zip tying things and tucking them away, I want to make sure I did it right. So I'm going to fire it up really, really quick. Nice! No light, baby. No light. That's all I need for you for now. Now I'll finish, you know, making this pretty. I'll try and keep it out of the way. I think we're going to get some heat wrap stuff for the oil drain line from the turbo, because it's right beside the downpipe. I'll probably wrap everything that's in and around here and just that heat stuff that needs it, because I don't want anything melting or burning or anything like that. What I did for now is I ran it around the back, and I just have it like loosely zip tied kind of up away from the motor so it won't melt for now. So it just kind of comes up, wraps around, and then I just switched the little clip backwards, so now it plugs in that way. This is just to get it to the shop. Next thing is this little T right here. I just kind of ran it with some extra hose off of here, so I'm going to cut down this hose so the T is kind of right off of this. And then I'm gonna feed this in through one of the grommets that I already have down in here. And I gotta find a temporary way to hook that boost gauge up, because we're gonna need to get a couple more gauges, but we don't have them yet. So for now, I just want this one just kind of mocked up somewhere that I can see it, but won't be final. Now there's way less hose coming off of here. It just literally goes directly into both these T's and right back into here, instead of there used to be like 2 loops of hose here, and it was just way too much hose. Now I just need to find a grommet to shove this through, because yesterday we just kind of shoved it through the door here so that we could get a reading, but we didn't actually put it through the firewall at all. There's a little bit more room above that spot on the inside, so I think I'm just gonna drill my own hole through there, and that can be the hole that I run the rest of my gauges through, because I'm looking right now and I'm not looking for something I can just run one gauge through, because yeah, right now it's just the boost gauge, but I'm also gonna need like a couple more gauges, and I wanna make sure I can run them all through one hole, or through a hole, but right now I don't see any that'll accept it, 3 more hoses or wires or anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and drill my own. Oh, there's through one. There's the new hole in the firewall right there. I'm just gonna try and feed something through there and see if it pops out the other side, because I'm hitting the other harness underneath it when I'm drilling through now, so I'm just gonna see if I can fetch whatever I toss through this side. There, so now that comes off, tucks under, goes right into the new little grommet hole that I made there, and it's like super clean. You can't really tell anything's even really going on. Looks kind of stupid, but it's gonna work for now. I'm just gonna go under here and tuck up all these wires, make them a little prettier. And now the wires are tucked, so there we go. That's the boost gauge's temporary new home. Okay, so I've done my research and I talked to Emerson, and basically what it looks like is people usually cut the crash bar when they put in like a big ass intercooler like this, and I didn't know that. I've never done this before. I just assumed that it would bolt right onto the crash bar. Now we have 2 options. First option is just completely remove the crash bar. So completely take this out and just kind of bolt the intercooler to here. Second option would be to cut a framing out of the front of the crash bar, because this is hollow on the other side. So to cut a framing out of the front and obviously the bottom, and slide the intercooler up and mount it to the top here. I'm gonna cut this and then mount the crash bar up in, or mount the intercooler up in onto this frame rail of the crash bar, which will still allow us to mount the bumper regularly with no issues. It should raise it up enough. We should have enough clearance once that's all said and done. Not entirely for sure, but that's what we're gonna take a stab at. You can see our little line from when we first installed it. I'm gonna go straight up and mark up right there. Same thing on this side. And at this point, I'm just hoping for the best. So that looks much better now that it's mounted a little bit higher. So what I'm gonna have to do is loosen up all the hose clamps, pull all the intercooler piping up. I think I'm gonna have to cut some of the little plastic underneath the windshield washer fluid jug thingy over there. Now that this is sitting a little higher, there's like a little tow hooky thing here, and I'm gonna have to get rid of that because you can see where it scratched the intercooler piping just trying to put it up in its new place. Then I should be able to pull this up. All jokes aside, the bumper should fit. Oh, maybe it is the actual grill part. So we made all the like necessary cuts for the bumper. We were cutting it, trying to get it around the intercooler and stuff, and like we tried to cut a little bit out of the bottom of the fog light because I didn't want to cut the whole piece out, but I wanted to have just a little bit because it was hitting the intercooler piping. But we were still unable to get it to fit properly because like the actual bumper was hitting the piping. So what we did was we just moved the whole intercooler back like a good inch or so on both sides, and then on the bottom as well with these little brackets that we made. So it should be snugged in a bit more. We're gonna see if the bumper actually fits finally. I honestly don't know at this point. It's just a guessing game of when we'll finally figure it out. Sweet, you're secure. You can't see it like when we're standing here like this. If you go like outside the door where you just get like on the right level, yeah, there's no hiding the fact that we're boosted. It's not like super show off that it's turbo. You think I could beat you in a race now though? Maybe. I might just. Hey, I got some test stickers. If you want to add it to your ones under the hood. Sick. Dude, this thing will never get old. No matter how much you beat on it and like break it and cover it with stickers, it still just looks awesome every time I look at it.
I don't know about that, man.
Well, other than that, you know, it looks good.
It's still good in the photos.
For those of you that are watching and don't understand what this is, it's like everybody that Derpy has like worked with or met that has some kind of brand that he's like met and hung out with and whatever, he kind of sticks their stuff under here.
Oh, the vinyls are the best because they can contour a lot better.
Damn, dude. That actually looks really good on the black.
There you go.
Nice. So the bumper's on now and everything's kind of as buttoned up as it's going to be to get it to the tuner so that they can tune it and everything. It looks okay. We need to heat it up a little bit in a couple spots. Like you can see right here, it's kind of like bulging a little bit where the intercooler piping's hitting it. So I want to heat it with a heat gun and just let it kind of bulge into its shape so it's not constant pressure on that pipe. And it's doing the exact same thing on this side. But I mean, other than that, me and Derpy got it to fit pretty well. Like it comes over here. We put the screws in both sides. It's gonna be okay. It was just a huge pain in the ass that we weren't expecting. We had to mount the intercooler and then we had to remount it like an inch backwards. And we had to play with a bunch of piping, and like we were here for the majority of the day. I didn't expect it to take that long. So just like a note for anybody that's trying to get this kit or thinking about anything like this, if you get a big ass intercooler in a Civic like this, it's gonna be a big pain in the ass because once we mounted it higher, I had to play with the piping for way longer than I should have to get it to fit again because it didn't want to be that high. So I don't know, it's a huge pain, but it's done. It looks awesome. And like when you're driving and you see somebody or someone sees me, I guess, in the mirror, it's gonna look so sick. And then we can take it to a couple track days and see what we can run a quarter mile time in. We can redo the 0 to 60 test and see how much faster it got. And most importantly, I gotta race Derpy and see if I can whoop his ass. I'm excited to keep making progress on the car, but that's all we're gonna have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace out and stay committed.